Victor Yang in Guangzhou, China, Senior Editor, JLC Network Technology. Victor, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Now, on the demand side, we have seen some reports that Shanghai is making some tentative steps towards opening up again.
Yes.
But there are also stories that a big steel-making hub in Tangshan near Beijing locked down at least partially yesterday for a mass testing program. So tell me, what's the feeling on the ground? Where are we in China's zero COVID policy?
Well, we could say demand is still far away from full recovery. And it's not just Shanghai, but also some other places too, where new cases have been found, say like in Guangzhou. Well, about 20 cases were found on a daily basis, well, for a few days, well, and they closed some businesses such as cinemas, well, and even schools for a few days now. And they're going to open up.
That's where you are, Victor.
Yes, but in different districts, in different districts, and they found, say, about 20 cases in the Baiyun district in Guangzhou. So they closed this district down for a few days and shut down some businesses, including cinemas and, well, sports stadiums, well, and schools. And they are now opening up too. But if some new cases are found in a city, say, or district, they will, say, lock down the district or some areas. Well, if it's just one or two cases, maybe it's not the whole district, but there will be testing and some business might be locked down. So this kind of impact is, well, it's taking place in many places, not just in Shanghai, but Shanghai is a particularly serious issue. And the vice mayor of Shanghai just came out and apologized again yesterday. Actually, the Shanghai government has apologized many times recently for not doing well in this handling of the crisis. It was ill prepared, and it admitted that it was ill prepared, and it had kind of shortcomings in the handling of this crisis. Well, shortcoming would be kind of understatement, I would say. Well, it could have done a lot better because, well, it's over 2 years from the outbreak of the Wuhan outbreak now. And the Wuhan outbreak, when Wuhan was locked down, things were not that bad, were not that negative. It's more negative than the Wuhan lockdown now, not just from the outside world, but also from the inside world, from inside the country.
It's more severe than the initial reaction in Wuhan.
Yes, we could say that. Because of the local government, I would say, because of the Shanghai government, it didn't handle this properly. Well, at the beginning, or maybe the local government didn't take it seriously, maybe, and it was not prepared well. And so there was quite some issues, quite a lot of complaints, lodged to the government. So the government apologized many times and promised to make improvement. And this demand destruction, I may say, impact on demand will last for at least weeks to come, and before recovery is taking place. Before significant recovery taking place, it's taking place.
Tell me, interesting that the authorities feel the need to apologize. Is that because there is a popular groundswell of resentment against the authorities for the actions that have been taken?
Well, you could say that some resentment, from the citizens, against the local government, not the central government, because of their mismanagement of the crisis. And say at the beginning, maybe it was taking something, it was not taking the seriously enough, maybe at the beginning. So they were caught short-handed. And that's a lot of problems ensue. Say, people were taken to quarantine without good preparation. Say some people might have been have been negative, might turn negative before they were taken into quarantine because of short-handed problem.
Okay, I get it.
And there's some other issues too. So there are a lot of complaints when the local city.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me, what is the visible effect on demand? Are people still driving? Are they still traveling?
Well, not much yet. Well, say if you want to travel across cities or across provinces, well, you need to have nuclear test, testament. Well, you need to be, you need to prove that you are negative.
Okay.
And so a lot of restrictions, and unless you had to travel on business, you do the nuclear acid test, so you can get travel. But travel has been far below normal levels, and this is not recovering yet.
Okay, so I want to get some kind of feel for how China is viewing the war in Ukraine. We saw dramatic headlines yesterday on Bloomberg. Yes. Russian oil exports fell 25% in a week last week. Sorry, in a week at the beginning of the month. So this would seem to suggest that Russian sales to China are not happening at the rate that we thought that they might, and possibly also India. But Victor, tell us, what's the Chinese view on this now? Where does China stand? It was a neutral or a backer even of Russia. What's the feeling now?
Well, the position or the feeling, the sentiment in China has not changed. It has been mediating between the two parties, and it's not supporting any other party. Say right from the beginning, it has been pushed for talks between the two countries, and so has been trying to get a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. Well, there has been a lot of support in the West about China supporting Russia, but which side is supporting? No side is actually supporting. Say, just like when the two parties are fighting, can you have one side against the other side to make a peace agreement? No, that's not the way. And so the sentiment is, saying in China, we do not join the West wagons and by condemning Russia's invasion, because, say if something similar happens to the United States, say, another country is going to, install missiles in front of its doors, what would the United States do? And what did the world say or do when the United States invaded Afghanistan or other countries? So this is not going to help whether to condemn Russia or not.
Okay.
What should be helpful? Yes.
I'm sure that you watch OPEC Plus meetings very closely because you're an oil industry expert. But how closely does China in general, watch the deliberations of OPEC Plus?
Well, for us, oil prices matters a lot too. And surely nowadays, production is not actually a great issue. It's just the concerns about production actually. If we look at the supply and demand, maybe we can feel that oil prices are driven more by the supply concerns, instead of by the capacity to produce enough oil for the world.
So it's all about supply from your viewpoint, is it?
Well, I mean, supply, you can say it's an issue, but it's not the biggest issue that causes prices to spike. It's mostly, sometimes it is about the fear about supply, about the sentiment that drives up the supply. But of course, from my point of view, the OPEC Plus could boost its production to slow down the growth in prices. But okay. Yes, that's it.